if I'm eating something and I offer you a piece, in Brazil, normally people will say, no, I don't want it. And then you have to ask again, really? Don't you want a piece? And then you say, okay, I want. Even if you want to eat what other persons offer you, you firstly will say, no, I don't want it. Even if you want. If you don't ask the second time, people will realize they don't want to share the food with you.
Yeah.
So you ask the first time for being polite. The people will ask, okay, no, I don't want it. And then if they really want you to taste, to try a little bit of the food they are eating, they say, no, really, don't you want a piece? And then you say, okay, I want. I don't think we are direct as the Dutch people, for example.
Yeah.
Because we people are really direct. We came to a conclusion that it happens in all parts of Brazil. Yeah. That, for example, we have a party or something at 8 p.m.
Yep.
Then you invite people to go to your place like 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Because you know, yeah, because you know that you're going to be late like an hour or an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
So you invite the people 1 hour sooner than your party, then they will be there in time, you know.
And for like a job interview, is it okay to be late?
No. So you have to leave your place like 3 hours before just to be sure you get there in time.
Yes, it's really what is important to you thing.
Yeah.
Because if you really want a job or if you are hired for this something, then you have to get there early.
In the normal daily lives, you know.
Yeah.
For example, the public transportation.
Yeah.
Completely different from here. Not only the schedules and the plans and stuff like that, but also the behavior inside a public train or a public metro or a tram or something like that is completely different from Brazil.
What do you mean?
So, for example, people respect each other. They don't push each other inside a public transportation because
here in the Netherlands.
What?
In the Netherlands, you mean?
Yeah, in the Netherlands. Well, at least I didn't experience like that. But for example, here, if someone wants to get out of the bus or get out of the train, they don't ask you, they just push you and they make their way out of the train. They say that the streets are for cars and bikes are for parks. Probably to be more open with people and also not to be so direct.
This is the W curve, and it embodies the process of adjustment when arriving to a new country. On the left you see the process of adjustment when arriving to Brazil, the new country, but you also experience that process of adjustment in your own country again. The first stage in the adjustment process is the preliminary stage, which means you will be leaving home and arriving in Brazil. And then the second stage is the honeymoon stage, and just in between arriving there and in between the culture shock. In the honeymoon stage, you will feel feelings of excitement, of joy, of optimism, and you will be wondered by all the new things that you will get in touch with. You obviously see cultural differences, but you only tend to focus on the real positive sides of them, so you really enjoy them.
I'm going to talk about culture shock now, also known as the crisis phase. The crisis phase describes the feelings of anxiety and surprise, disorientation and confusion when people have to operate within a different culture. It points out the difficulty in assimilation to the new culture, causing difficulties in knowing what is appropriate and what is not. This does not occur suddenly and depends on the duration of the stay and the level of self-awareness, thus feeling extremely unhappy.
The adjustment period. After feeling isolated and marginalized in this new society where you're unfamiliar with the customs, you will start to adjust slowly. This will take time and patience, but gradually you'll become more comfortable with this new society and you will gain social contacts and social networks. You will feel more flexible about your experience because you're learning to accept a new culture and its own customs, and this will be a valuable experience for yourself as a person. There are two types of adjustment. The first type is a more physical type. It's called group adjustment. You will, for example, when you have Brazilian friends, you will dress like them eventually, you will eat the same food as them. So it's more like on the physical side, where you will behave the same as them. And the second type is individual. This is more of a deeper adjustment, because your psyche will change. You will not only dress and eat the same things as the Brazilian people, but your values will change to fit into the values and norms of the Brazilian culture. All this is part of the adjustment stage.
Okay, with completion of your studies, you also have the completion of your adjustment, meaning you fully integrated in the culture, fully integrated with your new made friends, but then unfortunately you have to leave Brazil and you go back to your own home country, in this case Holland. You have to go back to your home country and arrive back in your home country, back with your own friends, back with your own norms and values, and have to fit in again with your friends, which can lead to some problems, aka the reverse culture shock.
Reverse culture shock. After arriving back in the Netherlands, probably from 6 months or more in Brazil, you've been accustomed to Brazilian culture, like values. So Brazilian culture is now normal for you. And when you arrive back in the Netherlands, Dutch culture is now strange to you. You have to integrate again and have to be accustomed to the Dutch culture again, because you may think about things like time differently from your friends, from your Dutch friends who view it very differently. So you will experience reverse culture shock again, which leads to readjusting. So you have to adjust to Dutch culture again, to their values, how everyday life is going. And eventually you will adapt to life in your home country again, finishing the W curve and adapting to Dutch culture again.